Mr. Britton.
Yes, ma'am.
Is this lady related to you?
Yes, ma'am. This is my mother.
And prior to renting a room with Miss James, had you lived with your mother?
No, ma'am. I lived with another friend of mine in his house.
And you found this room on what date?
Well, we had struck up our agreement throughout August. I moved my bed in and paid my first month's rent August 24th.
Did you pay any rent for August? That's either yes or no.
No, ma'am.
So she let you move in a week early?
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
And then, according to you, there was some difficulty that you noticed that her father was sort of staying over at the house and sleeping on the couch.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you didn't like that.
I had no problem with it at first. It wasn't until we had an incident the third night that I stayed there that I started to take exception to it.
What kind of an incident?
Well, it originated from my leaving my shoes in the common area, the living room, if you will, just to avoid having to navigate past them in the middle of the night should I have to go to the bathroom. Turns out around 1 or 2 o'clock, I did have to go to the bathroom. I opened the door to find my shoes sitting right there at my door. I nearly trip over them.
What you're telling me is you left your shoes in the living room?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And somebody said, don't leave your shoes in the living room because that's messy. You know, it's like one of my children.
Right.
Leave their shoes in the living room. And so somebody took them and said, this is where your shoes go. Your shoes go in your room. You left your shoes in the living room.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And
where they don't belong.
well, I considered it the common area. I thought that my shoes being there would not be an issue.
Well, I don't care what you thought. Your shoes don't belong in the living room.
Okay. Well, regardless, I tripped over them on my way.
No, you didn't trip over them. You just told me you almost tripped over them.
Well, regardless, I put them...
Not regardless. Your shoes were placed at your door. You got up to go to the bathroom and you saw your shoes at the door.
I did not see them, no.
Well, you touched them. You felt them.
Yes.
You didn't trip over them. You didn't fall. You went to the bathroom.
I nearly fell.
I can see
to indicate that I did trip, but I did not fall.
Listen to me. Your mother may tolerate that kind of behavior. I don't. Your shoes were at your door. You opened your door. You went to the bathroom. And what was the incident that we're talking about?
Well, I replaced them in the living room, but off to the side. Again, I didn't think that this was, you know, a misstep on my...
You were a brat.
Well,
instead of taking your shoes and putting them in your room, I'm following what you're saying to me. How old are you?
34, Your Honor.
Oh, that's like a 12-year-old. I'm putting my shoes back where they were in the living room.
Well, not back where they were. I definitely put them off to the side because I considered the fact that they may have been in someone's way, but I just didn't think...
You must have given him trophies when he came in fourth in the race.
Regardless, I woke up the next morning and found that there was a toilet full of... and nobody had flushed. I made a point of mentioning it to Mike, and he responded by telling me, well, now you know what it's like to live with a slob, and I thought that was a very...
Well, that was stupid of him.
I asked him where my shoes were.
Just a second. You're Mike?
Yes, ma'am.
That was stupid of you.
Yes, ma'am.
I asked him where my shoes were, and he told me...
How old are you?
51.
He directed me to the trash can and told me next time they'd be thrown in the trash.
So this clearly is not a workable arrangement because you have a 34-year-old, doesn't know where to keep his shoes, and you have a 51-year-old guy who acts like a 12-year-old. That would be your father.
Friend's father, actually, Your Honor.
He has no common sense.
I can't agree with you there, Your Honor.
Now, in September, he's still there. Now, they're not getting along. Your tenant, from whom you've accepted rent for September, and he paid you rent for September, right?
Yes, ma'am.
But at some point in September, realized that this wasn't working out, and he left mid-September. He came back to get his things, and his bedroom door was locked, and there was a note on his door. Can I see the note?
Initially,
I didn't ask you anything. I said, let me see the note.
Yes, ma'am.